Hi friends, welcome back to the Guitar Spa where we bring you all the beautiful guitars reviewed just for you. And I have this Gibson that just arrived. This is a Dove in Flight that arrived. Let me just lighten up the lights a little bit, is better. And this one is a custom Gibson Dove in Flight that arrived. And this one, you can see the the big gun has actually fallen off. The Dove in Flight is actually a sloped shoulder, not a dreadnought, guitar with Sitka screw stop. This one, and he has the maple back and side that is stained. You can see from here that is really stained. I know the lighting is a little bit tough. You can see it's stained in wine, a burgundy color. And they look at the headstock. There are lots of Jarvis that are on the headstock with the groover tuners, Coastal style groover tuners on this, and lots of birds. There are about 28 birds that is on this guitar, ornamented. Look at the bridge, it looks like a bird itself. 2 birds here. I think there are about 16 birds here, and the rest is all here, and a few 3 on the big guard. The big guard actually came off because due to the high humidity in Singapore, and this is very common. And originally the guitar came with the bow nut and saddle. The action was really very high because this guitar has been quite some time. Abalone top burfling, abalone rosette on this guitar. And I took one strum of this guitar. I said this guitar is sick because the action on the bass fret was already 5 mm, and the normal sweet spot is about 3.5 mm at the 12th fret fretboard. Okay, so what I did was I suggested, and also the nut was, once I straightened the neck, it was buzzing all over the place, and also the frets were uneven, so I had to even out the frets and stuff like that. And I've upgraded the saddle from the bleach bone and nut saddle to the FMI saddle, and with the Elixir 1253 Prosper Bronze, you can hear right now how it sounds because this guitar is aged. It's a 1 inch from the soundboard X brace, and normally a scallop bracing on this guitar, but this guitar has lots of power, lots of volume, maybe because the guitar is aged. The whole guitar is bound with ivorite or white plastic here, and the sides is a 3-piece neck, as you can see from here. I don't know where you can see 3-piece neck, 1 piece, 1 piece, and 1 piece, and it's all stained. It's a maple neck, and also stained to match the guitar. So the owner said, well, this guitar sounds funny, and then when I said, it's sick, he said maybe I should sell it. I said, let me work on this baby, and once I work on this baby, you may not want to sell it. And that's why okay, the maple, I like maple tone is because maple has a shorter decay than the Indian rosewood, things like that. That means that it's less muddy, and with the dreadnought you get clarity. It's not a bright sounding guitar, it's a clear sounding guitar, and with a nice bracing you get really powerful. And this one has exciting. Wow, just pump up with the energy because I mean, the guitars are beautiful creatures in a sense. Why I say creatures is living. It breathes life, and sometimes it's the way it's like a good conversationalist. You go for a coffee break or a chill out time with a friend, and that you have not met for a long time, and you could just start with that coffee or tea or latte or cappuccino, and it continues to just flow. And that's the same with many of these guitars that comes in, and where you just have that connection, and that is just priceless. That's just magical. I was talking to somebody and said that you got to buy the guitar that touches your heart, and sometimes no point having a lovely looking guitar. It could only be like a furniture, and it has no value in the sense that it doesn't respond to you. And then when you pick it up, you try to love it, but you can't love it. It's like a relationship, whether you have been in relationships before, and sometimes you've seen some people on the up front, they look great, they look perfect, lovely hairdo, nice dude, strong, handsome, pretty. But when you spend about 5-10 minutes, and you don't want to be, you just don't want to be close to them. You just find that there's something that's an issue, and that's with some guitars. And find a guitar that connects emotionally with you. And so, because why I say that is when you connect emotionally, soulfully with the guitar, even though sometimes the guitar may be old, there may be a lot of things, maybe aesthetically it's a little bit challenged, but sometimes it's true. It's with that connection that and we call that X factor, that a lot of this lovely songs just birth out, and you became a bit more creative. I call magical, okay. amazing, 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 amazing. I just love this. I'm gonna couple this guitar on the third fret. One thing I like about the Gibsons is, I mean, you take them and you couple them above the frets, and they just have that really unique timbre and unique voice, because it's bass heavy, and you can just sing. And it's sad to belong to someone else when the right one comes along. And it's sad to belong to someone else and the right one comes along. It sits below your voice. I'm just carried away with this stuff. You can see I have a great connection with this dove in flight. It's all about birds, man, birds. And this year, it's gonna be a year of the rooster, the Chinese, which is just a bird year, a birdie year. Okay. Okay, I go solve for Claris. One 11/16 knot width, so it's really narrow. Sometimes if you got fat fingers, really fat fingers, you're probably gonna be challenged. But I'm Asian, so I got smaller fingers, petite fingers, I consider. FMI, the fossilized mammoth ivory on the nut and saddle, gives a clearer tone. And some people ask me, is it better? It's not really better. I can't say chocolate ice cream is better than vanilla. The FMI just produces a clearer tone, a better note-to-note separation, slightly more overtones, and the bass is not as huge as the unbleached bone, but you get a more balanced bass on this guitar. And overall, you'll find that the whole guitar you need less right hand technique to get this tone up, and it's very satisfying, soothing tone. It's like having a chocolate smoothie, you know, over just a chocolate milk. So some buzzing here, gotta do it. Still has a lot of nice sustain. Let me just play a few couple of finger styles. There you go. The Gibson Dove in Flight. Dove in Flight, as you can see from the headstock, it's about 26 doves on this guitar, on the headstock, on the fretboard, on the bridge, and on even the pickguard. But the pickguard came out and stuff like that. And I've upgraded the saddle to the FMI saddle and nut. Something to note about the Gibson is it's, I want to say, it's, if you're looking for a perfect guitar, maybe you can buy certain brands and stuff like that. Gibson don't really have, in terms of perfect execution in the way they do certain things and stuff like that. but it just has that unique tone, and it's important when you go and buy a Gibson is to get it correctly set up by somebody you can trust, somebody who is experienced. And I've done a lot of the Gibsons, and one thing I know is you can't set it up too low, because once you set it up too low, it buzzes. It has a lot of other factors like loss of tone and stuff like that. So get a good technician, a good guitar person who's also a player to get it set up for you. Okay, if you're in Singapore, the Gibson dealer is none other than Sweely Music, and if you basically you can actually buy a Gibson, and the Gibson ages really well. That's one thing I like about the Gibsons. Okay, if you like this review, you can actually post some comments just below this YouTube video. And if you've not subscribed, my suggestion is to subscribe to this channel, because this is a great channel. Okay, till my next review, say live with passion, play guitar, love, joy, peace, health, and wealth to be multiplied in your life. My name is Jarvis. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.